right, guys, I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm looking at gold for buys here. I'm looking at gold for buys. I'm looking at not only gold for buys, I'm looking for S&P to be bearish on the downside. Okay. So let's get into it. First thing I'm going to talk about is gold. Okay. Actually, let's go over Dixie here. Dixie just broke structure here. Okay. Both externally here, I think we're going to break above this specific order block. Yeah, we've been retesting it here for internal. Oh, this is actually external structure. External selling zone. You know, normally you would see this drop tremendously and you'd see a reversal in price. But let me look at internal structure here. Looks like we're still creating higher highs here. And it looks like we're actually going to break past. With Dixie moving to the upside, we're still kind of in order flow. I do want to see price drop here, but it looks like probably going to push past it. So I expect a break here first. Then a wick, probably a move to the downside. S&P here. What did we talk about last night? This thing was going to drop. It's going to come back down to these zones here. Okay. Externally already, not only has it broken structure here, okay, it's already getting ready to make a new low here. With an S&P drop, we're looking at gold buys here. So gold's a buy today. Okay, let's look at Forex Factory right now real quick. I just want to check something out. Okay. We got flash manufacturing PMI, which is going to go live here in 30 minutes. Okay, running a recession-fearing sentiment right now. Flash manufacturing, if it comes out lower than expected, just expect that markets to go down, gold to go up with flash manufacturing PMI. Overall expectations right now. Okay. Lower than expected. Okay. Flash services PMI. Service industry. This is bullish. I mean, technically it's bearish today, but it's still above 50. Both expectations are bad for markets today. Markets are pricing that in. 945 hits. And flash and both manufacturing and services are going to put price down to where I believe down here. Okay. I see that happening. Specifically, this zone here, 63.53. Some more shorts, and most likely hit these lows here at 63.25. That's what I see. These lows targeted for sure. Okay. What else can I see? Let's look at Russell. Yeah, Russell's the same thing. Russell's constantly breaking lows, breaking structure here. Russell's about to make another low. Already internally is created new lows. The only thing stopping Russell or Russell going to next is here. Russell's a short. Most likely shorts around here, around this specific zone. This is both internal, this is external. Let me look at internal sells. Let me look at the indecision here. That is the key. This is the indecision here on the 45 minute, 30 minute, 15 minute, more refined. This is what I'm looking at. Internal cells. Technically, on internal structure here, this thing broke internal structure. I want to show you guys something, right? Just as like a lesson here. If you see this right here, right? Wave 1, correction. Wave 2, correction. Wave 3. Beautiful Elliott wave theory, right? What I talk a lot about, right? Elliott wave theory. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now, the beautiful thing behind this is, right? Usually after an Elliott wave completion, you have what? Usually a shift in momentum. You see this? You see this? So what is this called? It's called a shift in momentum. Okay? That shift in momentum normally means what? It normally means that we're going to be shifting trends and we're going to be moving to the upside. And normally, in usual occasions, I would buy right here. Okay? And we'd move on to the next stage. Now, why is this invalidated? Why is this invalidated? I'm going to tell you why. price, when it pulled back, it broke past this previous low right here. You see that? It never respected the low. The impulse move, which is this area here, you see this? The impulse move was supposed to pull back, right? Maybe to that indecision here, indecision candle, or to the order block here. But it was supposed to pull back, but it was never supposed to break price. Does that make sense? It was never supposed to break price. Okay, look at what it did. It was never supposed to break this structure, and it did. You see that? Technically it did. It ran the lower low. So it invalidates this shifted momentum and the break of mostly structure here. Does that make sense? It invalidates it, which means what? This right here isn't a shift of momentum. This right here is most likely just a pullback. And you can see it also here as well. You see that? It's better seen on the higher time frames, right? But on the 10-minute, you could almost get confused if you're scalping here. You can almost confuse yourself because you see this and you think break of structure. Not very true. Okay? This is why market structure is super important. Because Russell right now isn't bullish, it's bearish. Now, what can change the market direction of Russell? What could change it? And this is where fundamentals play a huge role, right? Because, very simple, if flash manufacturing PMI, okay, comes out anything above 49.7, okay, anything above 49.7, we're looking at like massive volume upticks here. If flash services come above 54, above 50 is already great. I haven't seen above 50 in a very long time until this year. So flash services, if it's above 50, then that would mean that the market would skyrocket on both sides. Make sense? Because we have both news in confluence, which would overpower technicals. News and fundamentals outweigh technicals by 70 to 30. Just be aware of that. By 70 to 30. So what am I looking at right now? Okay, let's look at VIX. Let's look at VIX here. Fill in the gap, fill in the gap. This area is really interesting here. We hold this price here, we're moving up. If not, this is going to be the bottom. Add a horizontal ray. I want to create a alert here. What do I mean by that? We still have price here to fill. What does that mean? The S&P needs to take a dump. Okay? The S&P does need to take a dump. Here. Price needs to come back to this zone here and fill up this gap. Okay? Now, is today going to be the dump? Well, this impulse move here to the upside of volatility, usually I look at volatility because it gives me an idea of what S&P is going to do in the long term here. If volatility goes up for S&P is usually bearish. If volatility goes down for S&P, okay, S&P is usually bullish. S&P is going to go up. So what I'm looking at is this here. I'm looking at a fill of this specific zone, okay? As long as we respect this indecisional candle here, okay, as long as it's respected, with manufacturing flash PMI, we're moving to the upside and S&P is taking a huge dump, okay? I believe S&P and the SPY could actually go lower than what I'm looking at, okay? I talked about these lows here. I really do believe that if that happens and we break the VIX goes below, I'm believing that we could actually go lower and go back to 63.24, which is what I talked about on a fib level here, okay? I could see that area get hit. I could even see from this impulse move 6,300 get hit, right? So there's a lot of areas here that I could see price easily coming back to here if the VIX breaks. And the reason why is because the VIX has gaps that it needs to fill, okay? And it usually fills those gaps very quickly, right? With strong pullbacks and then push downs here, okay? This is just one big pullback for a lower low. VIX needs to now pull back, then it'll pull a lower low. We need one solid, like a bow and arrow. We need to bring the bow and arrow back in the markets to then execute to the upside here. So once I see VIX, okay, I'm gonna give you guys some news here. Once I see VIX fill in this gap here, I am buying S&P 500 100%. The reason why is because every single time we've had massive pullbacks, okay, higher lows created on the VIX, it's usually been the bottom for the S&P, and we start the next wave to the upside on S&P and next wave on the downside on VIX, okay? Gold volatility is kind of the opposite, right? So gold volatility works in the opposite way as, hey, we want to see gold volatility move to the upside. As gold volatility moves to the upside, gold moves to the upside, okay? Now, I've been patiently waiting for gold volatility to skyrocket here. There's a lot of things that have happened on a fundamental level. First thing is August has been ridiculously bullish here. It's beaten all seasonality expectations, okay? And that isn't normal, right? Normally, we don't see markets do that in August. But the rate cut is affecting that, right? We have the rate cut, which is in September 17th, okay? That is affecting that. Now, another thing that is affecting it also is that, obviously war actually ticks up the perception of gold. That perception has been lost because this Ukraine and Russian war is actually about to end. There's about to be more peace. Because there's about to be more peace, okay, we could see gold kind of stay stagnant here for a bit, unless there's obviously quantitative easing, quote unquote, cutting rates, quote unquote, printing more money, quote unquote, making money cheaper to borrow, quote unquote, creating more inflation again. If that ends up happening, then we're going to see some movement here because, again, gold has moved in this range of $200 here. Not even $200. We could look at $100 range here that it's stayed at since July, which isn't great. But again, I'm looking for buys on gold just because of that quantitative tightening. And you're seeing that right now take place. You see that with gold, and obviously the buys here that were called out last night. I'm looking at buys, 100%. Let me see. Let me see. If you're not in this right now, it's my suggestion. Wait for a pullback. The first thing I said too on the live was, guys, we're buying gold. We're buying gold. So this is what you're doing here. If you're not in this yet, wait for the pullback here on gold. Okay. That is going to be the pullback. The pullback might come during 9:45, but there's going to be two buying zones. If you missed the first buying zone, this was the first one. Okay. The second buying zone is going to be here. All right, I'm going to show you guys here. We have a break of structure here on the daily. 4 hour, I'm going to mark this up here. 4 hour BOS. Okay, this thing's about to rally right now. This thing's about to create higher highs. And it's going to go to our TP area here. Okay. So, if you missed this here, I'd wait for a pullback here. Internally. It's going to extend to the upside. Still same take profit here. This will be for you guys a solid 1 to 6. Alright. So buys on gold. News will probably push it down, guys. So don't stress, don't worry if you're not in this yet. News will push it back down. My assumption is manufacturing flash PMI might actually come out better than expected. GU. Let's look at GU here. Wow, GU's straight liquidity. Okay, I am going to start scaling with GU. I'm gonna start scaling with GU most likely. Is GU creating lower lows on internal structure? Yeah, it still is. I'm conflicted because I want to sell. I want to send this buy here for GU. I'm gonna buy GU. I think I'm gonna get in a quick scalp for GU. GU looks good. GU looks really good. I'm getting in GU, guys. It hit the zone. It hit my zone completely here on external structure. I'm getting in buys on GU. I'm letting you guys know right now. I'm taking profit. I'm letting you guys know where I'm getting into. I'm getting in GU. Because it hit my zone last night and I didn't even notice it because it just wicked that area. I'm looking at conservative TP areas here at around 1.3639. I'm getting in GU right now. Tight stop. Stop is going to be very tight. It's going to be a 1 to 10 that I'm looking into. Already into this zone. I'm just looking for reconfirmation of external structure here. Okay, at 9:45 in 10 minutes, and I'm getting in GU. So I'm gonna just mark this up in the chat here. Let me put this in the link here, copy link. But I'm getting in GU right now. Did everybody see Kanye's coin? Bro, it's so funny that these people promote these meme coins and they're just pumping up coins. They're literally legal Ponzi schemes. It's so funny. Everybody want to go see it? Let's go look at it right now. Let's look at Kanye's coin. All right, I dropped it in the chat, guys, where I'm in the buys here for everything. Okay. Also gold as well. All right, I'm dropping it all in the chat here. Entries, areas of where I'm in gold and all this stuff, guys. Let's look at Kanye's new coin. Everybody's talking about it hitting a $1 billion market cap. Let's look at this coin, right? Yeah, this is so funny. Look at this. So let's look at what happened. Let's break down Kanye's coin step by step. Okay, so in the first, what was it? It went up about 1,500%. 125 million in liquidity. I highly doubt that this thing is 121 million in liquidity. I highly doubt that. What we can do is we can audit the liquidity, and we can audit the liquidity super quickly. All we got to do is go on birdeye.so. Okay, we go on birdeye.so. It gives us a little bit of a better, because Dex Screener can be manipulated. And I don't trust any of these meme coins. They're all just pump and dumps and all highly manipulated. So, not worth. Okay, so now let's go here. There we go. Now we have a little bit of a better idea here. Apparently still there. Now let's check one more. Let's audit one more way. I want to look at one last thing here. This is going to give me a little bit of a better idea. I don't really want to look at radium. Jupiter will give me a better viewpoint on it all. Oh man, the mosquitoes here are deadly. Really deadly. Really deadly. There we go. You guys got to be careful with these. Yeah, you see, there's 30 million in liquidity here. Now this is what it actually is. So you see what I'm saying, guys? The liquidity, and I'm gonna get into trading, like obviously Bitcoin and all that, because you know, obviously Bitcoin right now is bearish. If S&P is bearish, Bitcoin's bearish. Okay, guys. Okay, Bitcoin is not bullish yet. I do not see it bullish until we break this structural point. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys where I'm gonna be buying Bitcoin. Okay, I already spoke about this already. I think Bitcoin isn't a buy yet until I see some bullish order flow here. We're still breaking structure here. So until we see a break above 114, Bitcoin's going down. Okay, it's not bearish. I mean, it's not bullish. It's very much bearish. If Bitcoin breaks, okay, 112, which I believe it can, and most likely will, then if Bitcoin does break this here, Bitcoin's going 100% down to 108, and it's going to retouch probably 105 with liquidity, okay? Now, this is where I wanted to show you guys something here, because everybody that believes, and I've been trading crypto, guys, for 10 years, okay? So with me trading crypto for over 10 years, I've seen the highs and lows, and I see everybody talk about market cap. Like, I just went on Instagram right now. The first thing I see is crypto sensor say, hey, Kanye West just tweeted that he launched his own meme coin. Okay, the coin has done over 160 million in volume, and it hits a 3 billion in the first hour. Okay, does that mean $3 billion in liquidity went into the market? No. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a lesson here. That does not mean that $3 billion, this is $3 billion. This right here is not $3 billion. What happens is when a coin gets launched, okay, just like a supply, right? Let's say we have 100 coins. Only 5% of those coins, 5 to 10%, which is 5 to 10 coins, go out into the liquid market pool, which is this, with specific meme coins. The other 90% usually goes to the holders here, okay, or goes to the people that created the coin, or goes to people that, you know, obviously are in charge of the coin. So when you see $3 billion market cap, people think $3 billion went into the coin. It's bullshit. What ends up happening is liquidity from, let's say, Radium, if you're launching off Radium, or if you're launching off like Pump.fund. Okay, I think it uses Radium still. I don't remember. I don't trade meme coins because I just think they're fucking stupid. But I love crypto. But you could also make a lot of money too, so I just don't want to judge either, because you can make some stupid money on it. And I've made crazy money on fucking coins. But this is the thing. Okay, so to go back to everything here, 5 to 10% actually go into the liquid pool. Okay? Now, this is what I'm going to tell you here is, let's say we have, I don't know, you need some liquidity. You need at least 1,000 in liquidity. Let's say we have $1,000 that goes into the market. Okay? That $1,000 now, we have to reflect it'll reflect as we have 1,000 more in liquidity here. So what that means is a 1,000 in liquidity will reflect both in the open market and it'll reflect in locked tokens. So now what does that mean? That $1,000 now enters that 5 to 10% of the liquidity market of what's available in the open market, and that makes the coin that we have, okay, worth $1,000 divided by 10 coins, which would mean that each coin is worth basically $10. And because each coin is now worth $10 and 90% of the market is locked, because each of these coins now are worth $10, that means in locked liquidity, we have a $900, quote unquote, in this coin. So when people say a market hits $3 billion, well, we don't know how much is in the open market. Maybe this coin here has 1% of the total supply, quote unquote, in the open market. Some coins have 90% to 99% of their total supply, okay, locked. So you can manipulate the price of a quote unquote and market cap of a coin. It's very simple and easy to do and manipulate, which is one of the reasons why I don't like trading it, because it's pure gambling, it's pure speculation, it's pure hype, it's low liquidity. You know, even now you can manipulate the way that you can manipulate the way that Bird Eye reports liquidity. Look at what it says. It says in total liquidity, Yeezy Coin has $127 million. I just showed you, and it has a $1 billion market cap. I just showed you that is bullshit. What it really has is $29 million. Okay? What it really has is $29 million. Now, it's actually half of that number. So Yeezy Coin doesn't have 29 million in liquidity. It actually has right now, okay, 29.7 divided by 2. It really has $14 million in liquidity. Okay, so now you see the difference. You see the difference? 127 million is what it's being reported as liquidity. $1 billion market cap. In actual free-flowing money, there is quote-unquote, and Jupiter shows, which Jupiter doesn't lie, 29.7 million liquidity, but we have to assume that half of that is locked. So safely, you could say there's $14 million, okay, in total liquidity. Okay, so about 14 million. That's the real number. The real number is 14 mil. 14 million in liquidity, meaning entering and exiting. So if I'm buying Yeezy Coin and I dump $1 million into the token, the market is going to jump dramatically because I'm buying over 10%, okay, of the entire market. Okay, let's look at gold. Let's look at everything, guys. Let's look at flash manufacturing PMI. I'm just showing you guys these crypto memes and how crypto kind of like there's certain scam coins here and how they work. Okay, so what ended up happening was what happened. The crypto meme launched, skyrocket, early investors sold off, went up, and then is now from all-time highs down about what, 68%. Okay, so important to understand. Now let's get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going down. Let's get into gold here. Gold's retracing, which is good. I want to see gold retrace here for a bit, so we can get into the pullback here. Okay, good. Now let's see where gold is going here, because gold looks like it's breaking, and we're going to be looking for buys here soon. Okay, if you're coming in, this is good. Okay, so now let's look for buys, because there's going to be two areas to buy. It's going to be either here or it's going to be here. Okay, two main areas to buy. Let's look at what happened with news here. Flash manufacturing PMI better than expected. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so came out way better than expected. Flash manufacturing PMI better than expected. Wow. PMI services way better than expected. So no bad news. Actually really good news for markets here. Really, really good news for markets. Okay, so what am I saying? What do I mean by that? This shifts trends. Okay, so bullish on what? S&P. Bullish for S&P for today. S&P is going to come back up to these zones here. Okay, S&P, we're not buying S&P though until you can buy if you want. Okay, I'm waiting for, but this is the problem with buying. At least you guys can buy if you want. This is the problem with buying. It could easily come here, mitigate, and still continue on its low. On a long-term bias standpoint, I'm waiting for my buys for S&P here. Okay? Here. I'm waiting until I get confirmation here, pull back, then I get in, right? That's what I'm waiting for. Like gold, okay? But again, you guys can do what you would like. It's your trading account. Do as you wish. Okay, the VIX for S&P still, let's look at it. Went up, went back down, doesn't matter. Okay, let's look at Russell here. Russell here, kind of coming back up a bit. Don't know how much flash manufacturing PMI is going to influence everything here. Okay, as in firm with gold here, as in gold. Okay, I'm still going to stick to my buys with gold. Okay, there's two main buying areas if you guys are looking for buys today. Two main buying areas. This is what I want to show you guys here. Two main buying areas. First buying area is going to be here, 100%. That's the first buying area that we're in that zone. Second buying area, if you're not in this buying area here, okay, is going to be right here at this indecisional candle. Okay, it's going to be right here. This is going to be the second buying area. You decide which area you want to choose. You can wait 10 minutes for the, 10 a.m. candle. Okay, but I am in buys on gold. You can wait wherever you want, guys. You can wait till 10 a.m. candle here, then start to buy. Okay? Or you could buy right now. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm showing you guys where the entries are here. Okay? Here and here. Choose whichever entry you guys want. Now, what I'm looking for... Now, what I'm gonna finish this off here with the Yeezy coin. So I could just get this off subject. Okay? With Yeezy coin, so there's only really 14 million in liquidity here. Okay, and that's divided between who knows how much is actually at the floor here being held up. So depending on what ends up happening now is whether or not this thing sustains the hype. Number one, give me a second, guys. And number two, so there's really only $14 million in here. Okay? There's really only 14 mil. And because there's only $14 million here, we have to be very careful with certain coins like this. Okay? Because it's most likely already selling off here. It's going to break this structure. Once it's done with the news and Kanye does nothing with it, it's done. It's gone. Hypro rotationary is what these meme coins are. You have to be in and out within like seconds here. So again, remember, there's really only 14 million in liquidity. It's funny how like the news places, they don't know anything about crypto. They'll be like, oh, $3 billion in market cap. Doesn't matter. Market cap can be manipulated. I could have 0.5% of the total supply in the open market and manipulate my market cap. Doesn't matter. Okay? So liquidity also doesn't matter because you can manipulate liquidity here with some of these tokens. It says 120 million in liquidity. That is a lie. Okay? Bird Eye. Again, it says 127 million in liquidity. That is a lie. On Jupiter, what the real liquidity actually is 29 million. And then after you divide it by 2, remember we have to divide it by 2. It's really 14 mil. Okay. Keep that in mind when you're looking at tokens like this and crypto meme coins. Okay. So this is gold here. If you guys want, you wait till 10 a.m. 2 buy areas here and here. So what is the next thing I'm going to look for here? GU. I'm still getting into GU right here. It's in the zone. I'm looking for buys on GU. As long as GU respects this zone here, and this is why I'm glad I waited kind of with GU here. This here, this area here, this is the target area. This is where it's at right now. As long as it respects and closes below here, we're good with GU. Okay? Respects that zone, doesn't close below this zone here on a 4-hour, we're very good with GU. If it does, then it could be a problem with GU specifically. Okay? It could be a real big problem. And we broke the Asian range here, so we're actually kind of going against, right now, one of my famous indicators here. Always following the trend with GU. Okay. Add an alert, horizontal alert here with GU. You guys can wait till 10 a.m. to execute with GU if you would like as well. Let's look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin broke this low. I'm not buying Bitcoin yet. I'm not buying Bitcoin until we get a close above 114. Again, no close above this zone, mitigation here. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we don't guess the bottom. Because a lot of people guess the bottom here. Right? Price went up. What happened? Mitigated. You see this? Mitigation right here. Internal sells. You see that? Tried to guess the bottom. Bang, got wiped. Okay? again, trying to guess the bottom is always not the best thing to do, right? So now price went up, created a lower low, swipe down. Now price is mitigating back up. It could either go to the order block, go to the indecisional, and then swipe, make another low. So how do we know if it's bullish? Well, we know it's bullish if it breaks 4 hour. Right here, 4 hour. That's where we need to go. That's if it breaks and it closes above, then we're confident. Institutional, 4 hours, institutional external structure. So then I'm confident that it's a buy. Kind of like gold right now. I'm confident gold is a buy. I'm very confident. I'm very confident that gold is a buy. Now the question is, where is the buy specifically? Is the buy going to be here, or is the buy going to be here? This is a comfortable buy area zone, which is why I marked it up earlier this week. So I'm confident gold's a buy. The question is now, is it going to come to this zone here for the buy, or is it going to be here for the buy, right? Or is it going to come back down to these lows? Because why? Look at external structure. Gold broke external structure here. Gold didn't break external structure here, but it broke external structure here. So now we're looking for that confident area to buy, okay? So long-term, gold is a buy, which is why I'm very confident in it. Why? Just because it broke external structure. And it doesn't look like it's creating a lower low. It looks like it pulled back here to catapult to the upside. You see that? So gold buys, Bitcoin, wait for the buy. It looks like it's still somewhat bearish here. MSRT is interesting here. MSRT, very interesting, because it kind of gives us an indication of what Bitcoin's going to do. MSRT broke the indecisional. It broke this indecisional that I did not want it to break. Okay, and it actually went down to the zone that I said, if it breaks this indecisional, guys, we're really, really low. I think it's overextended to the downside. I do believe that. But what would make me buy MSRT right now? On the daily, it looks like it can go lower. It looks like MSRT can come here. All right, guys. All right, 10 a.m. is about to hit, so let's just wait for 10 a.m. Let it run, guys. Let's get it rocking. And other than that, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I kind of have an idea. I gave you guys some ideas here for what I'm doing here with specific trades. Both GU, long-term buy for GU. You can wait for 10 a.m. first and then execute on the institutional time to see how this reacts. Okay, if it closes below 4 hour here, do not take the trade. I repeat, do not take it if it closes below here on the 4 hour, or if we have a close, okay, on the 1 hour below this time frame. Do not take the trade. I repeat, do not take the trade. It invalidates it at 10 a.m. When it comes to gold, okay, still in buys, still looking for more buys here. Very simple. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. Love y'all, and I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.